Hello and welcome to Iridium Rock and Metal Reviews. So today I'm going to carry on with the Iron Maiden deep cuts. So we're up to Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. I'll give you a little bit of background with me and my relationship with this album. So after Somewhere in Time came out, well, let's go back a little bit further now actually. After Power Slave and Live After Death, Maiden for me were my world. They were just the most amazing thing I've ever seen, most amazing thing I've ever heard. Always played a lot. I played the Live After Death. I think it was a VHS cassette to death in the end. When Somewhere in Time came out, I liked it a lot, but not as much. And then I basically heard Seventh Son of the Seventh Son and I wasn't happy. I don't know, I didn't get along with it, not at all. And then when I left Maiden for years, a long time, and then when Brave New World came out, when Bruce went back in the band, I listened to that album and I was blown away. And then I started going back to listen to what I'd missed. And I love Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. Listen, I'm not saying it's anywhere near, for me, anywhere near Number of the Beast, Peace of Mind or Power Slave. It's not. It's nowhere near those albums, but it's definitely grown with me a lot, an awful lot. And I did my Iron Maiden ranking albums when I first started this channel, and I think I ranked Somewhere in Time above Seventh Son. I wouldn't do that now. I think Seventh Son's a better album all round. This was the first album that they used synthesizers, because on Somewhere in Time it was guitar synths, so you know, but it wasn't a lot different, the sound. So I don't know why I didn't get along with this album, first of all. I really don't. But I can still say that for me it's nowhere near as strong as Number of the Beast, Peace of Mind and Power Slave, which I think still stand head or shoulders above any Iron Maiden stuff. They're still bringing out great music, by the way, but those three albums, whether they'll ever beat one of those albums, I don't think they will, but you know, they're still my favourite band. So there you go. So we're talking about the deep cut of Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. Now, this is quite difficult. As someone pointed out on a comment below my last video, there's not a lot of deep cuts on this because it was such a huge album for fans, so many singles off it, so much stuff played live countless times. You're only talking a couple of tracks. Well, luckily enough, one of my deep cut tracks, one of those couple of tracks, is a real good song, real good favourite of mine, and that's The Prophecy. So that's the one I'm going to do. There's a little bit at the beginning of this, you know, I love it. I love the little quiet acoustic-y type bit at the beginning, but when that riff kicks in at the beginning, when the electric guitar kicks in, it's a real sort of, I don't know, it reminds me of that Metallica Master of Puppets type complicated riff that you sometimes hear, you know. It's weird. I suppose it was around about a couple of years after, you know, when Metallica were in full force then, weren't they? Not saying Maiden ever copied them, it's the other way around. Metallica got everything they wanted from Maiden. They took so much influence from them. But I don't know why, that little riff that kicks in at the beginning, I absolutely love that little few seconds riff. The whole song was great though. Right, enough of me going on and on. The Prophecy, about 5-minute song. I will stop it halfway through. All right, here we go. The Prophecy, Iron Maiden, deep cut. Love this bit here with a twin lead. I think it's a twin lead. Yeah, twin lead. Oh, That's the bit I'm talking about.
Now that I know that the right time has come, my prediction will surely be true. The impending disaster is looms, and the whole of the village is doomed. Why won't you listen to me? Is it so hard to understand that I am the real seventh son? Your life will never be defended. I heard the cry of the seven whispers. Lucifer smiles. I'll take the air, life remains. You fade the air, fortunes in my vision. Heed what I say, and you'll see what will be. Please listen to me.
Really proggy. Odd time signatures there, brilliant. Let's just stop it there. I didn't realise this was another Maiden track where there's just a couple of minutes. This has happened a lot with the ones I've chosen. Happened with Duelists for a start, where you get that little bit of Bruce singing, only for a minute or so, and then it kicks in straight away with a guitar solo. And that guitar, that little bit of instrumental passage there, really strange time signatures. You don't realise sometimes with Maiden, and you know, I've said this before, how progressive they can be, and this was known as quite a progressive album. It was obviously a concept album and really had really progressive elements in it, but I never thought of Maiden being that progressive until you really sit down, probably like this, like me sitting down now and reviewing it and think and listening to it properly, and then you realise them odd time signatures and stuff they do. Amazing, absolutely amazing band, and definitely an album that, you know, was lost for a long time with me, but now I see the greatness in it. It's a really good album. Let's just carry this on till the end.
Blame unto me, they fear I brought down a curse. Though they know that the tormented stays with me, knowing that I walk alone. Through the eyes of the future I see, they don't even know what fear is. Though they know I'm the one who is cursed. So forever, and the calm and simmer and whispers again. I have their lives in my hands. They're fading, fortunes in my vision. No one believed in my true prophecy, and now it's too late.
Again, sort of reminds me of Metallica a little bit there. Even this part here. Really clever songwriting. Reminds me of the bit of the end of Heaven and Hell. I love it when it's proper acoustic and not just a clean electric guitar. Love it. Yeah, great underrated song. I know that I've read a few things with fans and say that is one of their favourites, you know, but it's one of them ones that can be missed, isn't it? Because there's some great songs on Seventh Son of Seventh Son. You know, you've got some real epic long songs. You've got Infinite Dreams, haven't you? You've got the title track. You know, there's some real good songs on that Seventh Son of Seventh Son. And in fact, this one did make it into my top tracks of Iron Maiden when I did them way back a couple of months ago. I love it. And I was reading about Seventh Son of Seventh Son, and Bruce, after the Live After Death tour, really took it out of him, that tour, and he was void of any sort of good ideas for Somewhere in Time, and I don't think any of his ideas were used on Somewhere in Time. I might be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that what ideas he had wasn't that good. I think he was really exhausted, and but then he had a lot of input into this one, into this album, and now when I listen to it now, I can see the difference in this to Somewhere in Time. Even though Somewhere in Time was a great album, I think there was an improvement in this one, not in the next couple, in my opinion. Whether that had anything to do with Adrian Smith not being there, I don't know. And this is where I'm going to need your help, because I'm not a great fan of the next two albums. In fact, the next 4 albums. So the next one is No Prayer for the Dying, I believe. I'm going to need some help with that to choose a track, because, you know, I'm not a big fan. But I haven't heard them for a long time. So please, has to be a deep cut. Please let me know what track to do on No Prayer for the Dying. That must be a deep cut, so not used live too much. Not a single, okay? A deep cut, if you know what I mean. Thanks for listening, and please press the red button, bottom right hand corner, if you want to subscribe. See you next time.